Welcome back to the finale of What If Savage remained as Dooku's apprentice. Thank you to those of you who watched the first two parts of this video. To recap what happened in those in case you haven't seen them, the Nightbrother had been trained under Dooku, but he had secretly been under the control of Mother Talzin. To help the fight against Dooku, the Nightsisters had brought back Maul from his supposed death, much to the shock of Obi-Wan Kenobi. The Jedi Master put aside his past rivalry to protect Dathomir and kill General Grievous, as the brothers of Maul and Savage are now face to face with Dooku and Vizsla on Mandalore. Dooku decided to test the defences of Savage, and the Zabrak still had a weakness to his lightning attack as he fell back into the lower streets of Sundari. Maul had to fight the two formidable warriors on his own, and as he tried to isolate Vizsla, Dooku made a precise strike into the joint of his robotic legs. Maul stumbled back in surprise as Savage finally made his return, and together they surged to their opponents. Dooku could sense the overconfidence in Maul and deactivated his blade to let the brothers walk towards him, and as they lifted their blades, Dooku punished them with a lightning attack. Maul had managed to deflect most of the attack, but that merely resulted in Vizsla being closer to impale him with the Darksaber, and Savage soon rushed to his side. The mobilisation of an entire droid army could be heard overhead, and Maul ordered Savage to leave him, then head back to Dathomir to tell the Jedi of his secret before all life ebbed away from his body. The cloud of Nightsister magic from Maul's body helped Savage to escape in their infiltrator, and as he returned to Dathomir, Talzin had been repairing her base, as she greeted the saddened Savage. Talzin had known about Maul's secret and guided him to an artifact room buried amongst the buildings of their base, finding a holocron that could be opened upon his touch. Savage discovers that Darth Sidious had in fact been Chancellor Palpatine, and leaving the room, Talzin knew that they needed the Jedi to try and defeat the Sith. Back on Coruscant, the Jedi had just been made aware of the attack on Mandalore, and having rescued Duchess Satine, Obi-Wan is eager to return the occupation of the planet to the Duchess, but they soon realise that Maul had fallen. The reports of his death are met by a transmission from Admiral Yularen, revealing that a Sith ship had just entered into their airspace, and Yoda orders it to land inside of the temple hangar. The brute of Savage and Talzin caused ripples in the temple, and they eventually stood in front of the council members to give the one piece of information that the Jedi Council had been searching for. Yoda and the Jedi realised that their greatest fears had become reality, and the Grand Master ordered them to surround the Chancellor's office, as Obi-Wan and Anakin gathered the forces to go to Mandalore. Yoda entered Palpatine's office, and the Chancellor turned to the Jedi, having sensed the darkness arriving on Coruscant, listening to Yoda inform him of Maul's demise. The Chancellor did not deem the matter to be one that the Republic should be a part of, as Mandalore had been a neutral planet, but after Yoda left, he furiously told Dooku that he would be arriving to inspect the damage that he had caused. The Jedi surround the galactic city, tracing every step taken by the Chancellor, and they spot Palpatine entering into his executive shuttle after paying the docking officials, then zooming off into hyperspace. The Jedi follow the Chancellor on their own path to Mandalore, bringing all of their spare destroyers and cruisers into the fight, and they find Obi-Wan's fleet is already battling the Separatists. Yoda orders the fleet to let Palpatine fly to the surface, as he diverted his starship into subtly tracking him, alongside several other council members, but they find themselves ambushed by members of the Death Watch, so have to leap out of their starfighters and onto the ground. Dooku lay stricken on the floor from his master's punishments, and he appeared to be toying with Savage and Talzin until the Jedi intervened. Obi-Wan battled Vizsla and the Mandalorians, as Yoda helped the Dathomir natives to try and defeat the Sith Lord. Sidious had been so confident of victory that Order 66 had become an afterthought, and as Yoda deflected the lightning attack, all of the Nightsisters fired their energy bows into the Chancellor, leaving him on the floor for Anakin to kill him. Silence fell upon the battle, and Yoda dragged the body of his old apprentice into the custody of the Jedi, whilst Talzin and Savage go back to Dathomir and recover from their injuries. The planet of Mandalore returned to the occupation of Duchess Satine, after Obi-Wan had killed Vizsla, and Anakin is made a Jedi Master for his efforts. The Nightsisters and the Jedi made a tenuous alliance, with Ventress being employed by the Jedi to counter the bounty hunters that continue to roam across the galaxy and prevent any assassinations on Chancellor Bail Organa. Dathomir was finally free from the eyes of the Sith. That is it for What If Savage remained as Dooku's apprentice. If you enjoyed this what if, please like this video, turn on that notification bell, click that subscribe button on this channel, as well as on my other channel What If Films. And as always, leave a comment on what if you'd all like to see next, and how I can improve my videos. Thank you all very much for watching, and see you next time.